This program provides education, not advice. Sponsors pay a fee for endorsements and interviews. See the truthayf.com disclosure page for details.
This is where technology, innovation, and personal finance come together.
This is the truth about your future with Rick Edelman.
It's Wednesday, February 28th. I want to talk to you about the future of auto manufacturing. But to do that, I want to go backwards first to 2009. It was in 2009 that China became the world's biggest producer of cars. Today, there are 150 car makers in China. And now, today, China is the world's biggest exporter of cars. They sell Chinese cars in more than 70 countries. NIO is now building an electric vehicle factory in Hungary to serve the European market. 42% of car sales in China are either electric or hybrid, compared to 25% for Europe. By 2030, 90% of the cars sold in China will be electric vehicles. Volkswagen's market share in China is only 14%, and its share of electrics is only 3%. Clearly, the Chinese prefer to buy Chinese vehicles rather than imports from Europe and America. And this notion of electric vehicle explosion, well, China now makes 70% of the world's lithium-ion batteries, and those are crucial for electric vehicles. Chinese consumers rate their cars' infotainment systems as better than either U.S. or European car makers, even though they say that Europe and the U.S. make safer, more reliable, and more comfortable vehicles. Apparently, the Chinese care more about their infotainment systems than their seatbelts. In 2023, China sold 2.2 million electric vehicles in Europe, 9% of all electric vehicle sales. And those vehicles are 15% cheaper than Volkswagen's ID3 or Tesla's Model 3, and China is expected to grab a 20% market share in Europe by 2030. In the United States, we hit Chinese cars with a 27.5% tariff. That's what makes Chinese cars really expensive here in the U.S., which is why we don't buy many of them. That's a good thing because in Mexico, which doesn't have a tariff, China has a 20% market share. That would happen here if it wasn't for the tariffs. In the future, the car you might be driving just might be made in China. In 60 seconds, a poem.
Support for Rick Edelman's podcast comes from Invesco QQQ. What do all the greatest innovations have in common? Agents, people who participate in progress by supporting cutting-edge ideas. Invesco QQQ is a fund that allows you access to innovators of the NASDAQ 100 all-in-one fund, so you don't have to be an inventor to help create what's next to come. Anyone can become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Learn more at Invesco.com/QQQ. There are risks when investing in ETFs, including possible loss of money. ETFs' risks are similar to those of stocks. Investments in the tech sector are subject to greater risk and more volatility than more diversified investments. The NASDAQ 100 Index comprises the 100 largest non-financial companies on the NASDAQ. You can't invest directly into an index. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
Many years ago, one of my listeners wrote a song about me. We brought him into the studio where he performed the song for everyone. The link to that recording is in the show notes. Now, another listener, Mark Stone, has written a poem about me. It's going to be published by the Society of Classical Poets. It's been entered into the organization's annual International Poetry Competition. So, here's the poem, read by its author, Mark Stone, called The Wisdom of Rick Edelman.
Tush on the sofa and heels on the hassock. Buying a fancy car, new or a classic. Drinks with umbrellas imbibed on the strand. These are the golden years that we have planned. Fruitful investing is hard to intuit. Learning the basics will help you get through it. How can you grow your retirement coffer? Rick has some nuggets of wisdom to offer. What should you purchase? Each fund has its facets. Why are there so many classes of assets? Rick's learned counsel is simple and terse. Own some of each, so your nest eggs diverse. When one of the classes of assets you own grows faster than others, you might then be prone to just let it grow. One can see the attraction. Rebalancing, though, is the more prudent action. Don't fret when the market is falling or rising. Invest every week with a long time horizon. A pittance saved weekly for decades compounding will yield a remittance that's truly astounding. Saving for college should start right at birth. Growth over decades will maximize worth. It's easy to set up a 529 plan. Growth is tax-free, so it's really a fine plan. You may not develop a nest egg as stellar as those of Jeff Bezos and John Rockefeller, but using Rick's wisdom assiduously will render your nest egg the best it can be.
That's Mark Stone, the poet who wrote The Wisdom of Rick Edelman. Thank you, Mark. I'm grateful for your kind words. Hey, are you a financial advisor who wants to get more clients and grow your AUM? Come to Wealth Management Convergence in West Palm Beach, Florida, March 10 to 12. It'll give you the investment strategies you need today. Generative AI, exponential tech, the latest on longevity, estate planning, crypto, and a whole lot more. Come network with top advisors. Every session's main stage, plenty of CE credits. If you're a financial advisor, join me March 10 to 12th in West Palm Beach. Register right now. The link's in the show notes. And enter discount code WMC2024. You'll save $100. On tomorrow's podcast, the future of energy.
The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman is brought to you by Schwab. With Schwab investing themes, it's easy to invest in ideas you believe in, like online music and videos, artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, and more. Schwab's research process uncovers emerging trends. Then their technology curates relevant stocks into themes. Choose from over 40 themes. Buy all the stocks in a theme as is, or customized to better fit your investing goals, all in a few clicks. Schwab Investing Themes is not intended to be investment advice or a recommendation of any stock or investment strategy. Learn more at schwab.com/thematic investing.
Increased awareness and actionable intelligence about the forces that are shaping our world.
This is The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman.